Hey everybody, hope y'all are doing well. It's our regular Sunday update. We're here and it's between sprinkles. Uh, I'll walk towards some of the projects I did today actually. It's Sunday. We've kind of been waiting for the rain to hit all day long and it just hasn't really come. But today, the coronavirus has forced us as a society to really reassess a lot of things, and it's forced us as people, as members of that society, to reassess a lot of things. And it has put me in a position where I have to make. Come on, Belle. You never got entangled in the line this much before. I mean, out of necessity, the line we put up had to run around a light fixture, so it would be somewhere, and she's never been one to get tangled up in it until now, and now she's always getting tangled up. Come on, Belle. Here, you have free running space through here. But this is where you can run. We hung about 100-foot line between two trees, and we have her attached to it. And it's between the back of the property and our chicken coop, designed so that, she can roam through the areas that she needs. And I put a longer extension on the line. It came with like a 10-foot line, and if you put it 8 feet up in the air, then you can tell there's not a whole lot of space. So I have a 20-foot line attached to it. She gets tangled up a lot more. Today, I started something. We have a irrigation issue on our property. When it rains, just lots of soaking areas. I've got a pond that won't take water, won't keep it, and I've been emptying all of our totes into it. And today I decided to try old style irrigation canal. So it runs, not that far from there to our pond. It's probably 35 feet, maybe 50 feet. I don't know. I'm terrible at census. It was me digging it up this morning, so it felt every bit like it was 100 million feet. But it was probably realistically only about 30 to 35. It's only about 6 inches deep, about a shovel length wide, and it just goes out from the exit area of the pond into one of the areas, and it just goes right through the middle of an area that was collecting water. And I'm hoping that I can basically, the pond's taking on more water. We did throw some bentonite clay into it, trying to find if there was any spots that were seeping out through the bottom. And I'm hoping if I can get enough water in it at once, that it will drive, that will overcome and kind of then have enough water in it where it's standing. We'll see, that's the theory. But we're talking about Corona's forcing people to live very, very different. And in many ways, I'm lucky and blessed because we have 4 acres, a little over 4 acres. So there's plenty of tasks to do. I'm not just stuck inside all day long. It's not like I'm living at my apartment where, I had like a 400 square, like a tiny, tiny square foot apartment. And I would have gone much more stir crazy than I am. I have things that I can do, animals that I can take care of. At one point today, we had to go chase our ducks, our Juliet, and that's who I've named one of our turkey hens. You can see her in the background. She's the one that one's Juliet, and that's just the Tom. And Juliet picked the other Tom, so in an effort to try to separate and get our 2 breeds to breed independently, we have put up the enclosure and separated, and Juliet has done nothing but pined for the other Tom. And it has been an adventure with these 2. So me, Gage, and Deborah at one point had to go corral Juliet and put her back in with the Tom she doesn't like. And if the Tom doesn't improve, he becomes our Thanksgiving turkey. So we win either way. And I'm hoping that when we put the doors up, I'm able to fully enclose where they can't see each other. Absence might make the heart go to the other Tom. We'll see. Distracted, so forgive me. A little scatterbrained, and there's a couple different reasons for that. Corona has forced a lot of us to reassess things. As I've said before in my videos, I've been sober for 3 years, 4 months, somewhere in there. I don't live and die by my sobriety date. It is a date of great importance to me, but it's not like I count every day where it's like 3 years, 6 months, 7 days, 4 hours, 6 seconds. To me, it was an important date in my life where I embraced sobriety, started living my life for something, and removed alcohol from it by absorbing that place alcohol had with other things of healthiness. There is another bad habit and addiction I've struggled with since I was 21 years old, and that is smoking cigarettes. I've been a smoker since I was 21 years old. Had various times where I've quit for a couple weeks. Never had a really long-term quitting success with it. I've tried the Chantix. Chantix had a personality difference for me that I didn't like, and I don't trust, so I'm not taking Chantix. I've tried the patches. I do have the patches that I wore, but tomorrow is the first day where I'm not buying cigarettes, I'm not smoking. And let me just say, it's tough and a little intimidating. I have been a smoker all of my adult life. I was talking to Gage, our 17-year-old Deborah, that I've been a smoker longer than he's been alive, and it is tough for me to go through this process. Physically, as I've quit, it's weird. I've gone through sobriety with alcohol, and that had awful things to it. But smoking has been really difficult for me to go through. And even I've smoked my last cigarette earlier today, and I'm already dealing with some of the physical effects of it. I get really bad indigestion, heartburn, things of that nature. I had to sit Gage and Deborah down and kind of say, hey, okay, I'm doing this, and I'm asking for your grace and your mercy as I go throughout this process. Just because you're going through sobriety doesn't mean you have a right to be an asshole to everyone around you. But I did ask them to give me a little bit more grace and mercy as we go through this process. I will update you all on my journey. It will be part of what I post. I've posted a lot more in this age of Corona, probably being because I'm doing a lot more. I generally don't like to post videos until I'm doing something. This isn't like a voyeuristic thing. I never wanted people to feel like they were a part of my life and that they were a visitor and a guest in my life. This is as much a journal for me to talk about what I've accomplished. It does get into some ideas, hints, things that I can say that I've learned in my process. But this is, once again, I never wanted this to be a how-to channel, and it's not. When I figure something out, I generally share how I did it, and I try to be technical in that. If people talk about something I've accomplished, I'm more than willing to share what I have done. I've just never wanted it to feel like, there was me interacting. Like if I very rarely, I don't think I've ever done it. And maybe with Deborah where we've been together about a video, but it would be honestly rude to me if there was another person here and I'm over here trying to interact with them and bring you along. Okay, I feel like that's disrespectful to you. Mostly it's disrespectful to the person I'm talking to. So very rarely will you get some voyeur style where you're going to be floating in the background while I interact with other people. That would just, once again, I feel like that would be rude. But as I talk about this non-smoking and the stages of it, I am going to share it because it will help me be accountable. It will help me talk myself through some of the uncomfortable parts of not smoking. And I will tell you, going through the first sobriety from alcohol, the beginning was awful. And it was just terrible to go through the physical withdrawals and then the emotional withdrawals and then the social withdrawals. It was 6 months, I think, before I even went out. And I was at an establishment that had alcohol in it. Now I'm much more comfortable and I can go into a bar and order my unsweet tea and, kind of sit there and, I used to do karaoke a lot more. I don't do karaoke as much. But to do karaoke without alcohol that first step was really crazy. So this is in many ways what I feel like is one of the most difficult things I'm going to go through, and it's already been difficult, and it isn't the physical withdrawal, honestly. Smoking has been a companion in my life. My whole adult life, I've been a smoker, and I've smoked through my divorce. I've smoked through my first marriage. I smoked through my time in the military. So honestly, This is really, really challenging, and I'm gonna post videos through some of those challenges, just because it will help me get through it. But just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. This is, ground zero of me not smoking and not being a smoker. And honestly, not being a smoker is the harder thing, just because it's been a part of my life for so long. But anyway, wish me success. If you had things that you were successful with, for me, I'm just going to dive into the work around me. I already told Deborah Engage that, I'm going to keep myself busy and active. And, there's all kinds, that's the good thing about being on the property. There's so many projects I can just dive into. I fixed my, the gate on my truck already, took some parts off, had to fix it. That was rewarding. I've got the alternator coming in for one of our RAV4s that I'm going to replace. So I've got lots of projects and things to work through. And I've got a very understanding and loving family, thank God, that are going to help me through this. So that's it. Joe Homestead Sunday update. I dug a trench, I fixed my truck, I did some leaf things, I did chased a turkey today. Had lots of things on the docket for today, and the most important thing that other than spending time with my family, I had my last cigarette today a couple hours ago, and it's tough. So be thinking of me, sending me your good thoughts. Like I said, if there are things that you did, if you've quit smoking, going through that process, let me know. I will also post what has been working for me. If you're still smoking, I'm not a smoker anymore. I don't think I can call myself a non-smoker, but I'm not smoking, and I will post what helps me throughout the day. So thank you for being a part of our channel. I'm sorry, 12 minutes. It's a long video. One long shotted video because we're doing this on our phones. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Joe with Bumbling Acres, signing off.